Hey guys, what's going on? Dr. Natty here at Myokinetix Physical Therapy and Performance, and today we're going to talk about Achilles pain. Why does that happen, and how you can actually prevent it from happening, get rid of the pain, and then actually strengthen your calves and your Achilles so you don't have that pain when you go back to running or competing on the field. So let's get right into it. All right, so we got Johnny Bone Jones over here, and I'm going to show you how the anatomy works. So you have your Achilles tendons right here, right? So every time you go into any dorsiflexion, you see how the Achilles tendon will be lengthened, right? And it's attached to your gastroc and also your soleus, right? Which is, again, your calves right behind the back of your leg. So what happened with the Achilles pain is that you have inflammation right here. So the Achilles tendinopathy is something that we see a lot here at Myokinetix. So if you end up playing tennis, pickleball, running, any field sport, especially basketball, lacrosse, soccer, there's a lot of stop and go. And that's where you actually need to be able to lengthen and then shorten at the same time. And if you do a lot of these, you can see that there's a lot of stress within the tendon itself. And that's why you have pain. Now that you know the cause, I'm gonna teach you ways to actually strengthen your calves, your soleus, and your Achilles tendon itself. So that way you don't have any pain. So let's get right into the exercises. All right, guys, so first thing first, before we strengthen anything, let's get into the stretching first, because we want to make sure that all the tighter muscle are actually not being bundled up like this, and we can actually get it to be in a normal length position before we do any strengthening. So the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna go calf stretch, and I like to just juice it up a little bit by just adding a plate right underneath my foot. What that means is allow the Achilles tendons and the calf to actually lengthen even more, right? So if you're at home, you can get a little bit of towel, you can just roll that on the ground. And all I want you to do is place one foot on the block, on the plate, let your ankle just kind of hang in the back. You're gonna get something to hang on to like this. And from there, you wanna align everything where your hips, your knees are straight. And all you're gonna do is just let this sink down. From there, you feel a nice stretch. We wanna hold this for 10 seconds. And I wanna do that 10 times, okay? So the first one we're gonna hold 10 seconds, and then we're gonna relax. On the next rep, I wanna turn my heels out slightly to get an even greater stretch. And then we're gonna do this for another 10 seconds. After this 10 seconds, we're gonna go back to the normal position, which is straight down. And each time, you're just trying to go lower and lower as much as you can. For another 10 seconds here. And then we'll alternate back with the heels outside more. So this would essentially just stretch your calves, okay? That would be our first stretch. It's a nice calf stretch right here. So we're gonna assume I did this 10 times, flipping back and forth. All right, so that's our first stretch. All right, guys, second stretch will be your soleus, which is the muscle that sits right behind your calf, okay? Again, ankle stability, muscle, we need to stretch that as well. So the difference between this one, you're gonna have a slight knee bend. So I'm gonna show you with my left. Same thing. Get your heels up. This time, I'm gonna bend my knee and slowly just sink down, right? So from here, you feel a deeper stretch, almost right behind the calves itself. And we're gonna hold that for 10 seconds. A few more seconds. And just like the first stretch in the calves, on the next rep, I'm gonna go heel slightly turn out, and same thing, sink down. Notice I'm sinking down with the weight in the back of on my back leg. We're gonna hold this for 10 seconds. Again, it's 10-second hold, 10 times. You're gonna alternate back and forth. Great to do right before you go running as part of your warm-up or as part of your cool down. Especially if you're a big runner. I ran this morning, so my calves are really tight right now, and so is my soleus, so this is really great for me. Same thing, I'll switch back. Heel straight now, sink down, weight right in the back leg, get a nice stretch, hold that there, 10 seconds. All right, we're gonna switch one more, turn the heels out, sink down, get the stretch here. I'm gonna hold. Also, if you feel like you're having a hard time squatting, hitting good depth because your ankle is limited, this would be a really good stretch for you to do before you do any lower body workout. And awesome, that's our second stretch for the soleus. All right, guys, so now that we just finished stretching, now we're gonna go into the strengthening portion to actually get your calf strong, your soleus strong, and your Achilles. So the first thing we're gonna do is standing heel raises. Again, you've seen people do it off the floor like this before. I like to just do it off the block so that way you have way more range of motion and you can control that eccentric portion, which is how slow you're gonna go down, right? Which is gonna teach your Achilles tendons to be really, really flexible, but also strong at the same time. So you're gonna stand here. Again, just like the calf stretch, you're gonna lock your hips, lock your knees, let the heels come off. You're gonna lift this leg up, find something to hang on. You're gonna push into the ground like you're stepping on a gas pedal, coming all the way up. And you're gonna do like a 3 seconds down, and then right back up. Again, because they are stabilizing muscle, I like to go high reps on this one. So we're aiming for 15 to 30. Between 3 to 4 sets. 3 seconds down. Again, think about locking that hip up top. Come back down. Hold. Nice and slow. And if it's too roomy, you can always move your heels back down a little bit more so you can go lower. Up, make sure you lock your hips. Squeeze your quads. Down slow. Get a full length all the way up. You get tired really, really fast when it comes to this. I like to program this for my patient, especially when we start doing a lot of running on their own, especially after an ACL, recovery or Achilles strengthening or, Achilles post-op. One of the tests that we like to do is within 30 seconds, how many of these you can do one side compared to the other so you can see how strong you are. Okay, I'm gonna swoop side. Same thing, down slow. Because I have left ankle sprain, I know for a fact that my left calves are not as strong, so I wanna make sure I really address this on a weekly basis. And another thing I also see is that people who do a lot of calves training, especially the bodybuilder, they tend to have Achilles pain because they don't do the stretching or the eccentric loading like we're doing right here. Because they tend to go high volume without the full length, the full lengthening of the muscle itself. Lock the hips all the way up, down nice and slow. Awesome. So that is our strengthening for the calf. All right, guys, next one, we're gonna strengthen that soleus, the muscle right behind the calf. So all you're gonna do, you're gonna find a relatively heavy weight that you can do for 15 to 20 reps to 30 reps. You're gonna place this right on top of your thigh. If you wanna have a 90-degree angle right here at the knee, same thing. Pretend you're pushing in the gas pedal and you're gonna slowly lift as high as you can, 3 seconds down. Again, we're going for 15 to 30 reps, 3 to 4 sets here. High volume, really go all the way up high and then control your way down. Again, this one, if you do it right after the calf raises, it's gonna be a lot challenging compared to just doing this first. Because essentially we're tiring out the calves first before we strengthen the soleus. Oh, pro tip on these guys, make sure you push with the ball of your foot in the front right here. My cue is always stepping on a gas pedal or think about I'm squishing a bug into the ground. Get full range of motion here. Control your way down, 3 seconds. I'm almost done with this one and we're gonna switch. Same thing, push into the ground, put some weight on there, push up, down slow. There you go, all the way up, 3 seconds down. Again, the rep range is 15 to 30, 3 to 4 sets. If you're in season right now for any sports, this is absolutely great to do as part of your accessory workout. All right, now that we're done with that, we're gonna move into more athletic movements. Now it's gonna teach you to actually learn to absorb force, so that way you're not using the Achilles tendons as much, you're using your calves, your hips, your quads to actually help you decelerate and absorb force. All right, guys, next one is gonna be strengthening exercise, but also in the context of being athletics, which is the pogo, right? Which is similar to just jumping rope, right? So you're just gonna go here. You wanna slowly jump up and down, land really soft. Notice when I do this, my heels are not touching the ground at all. As soon as I land, I spring right back up. Again, if you were jump roping, it's the same thing here. This is the first athletic movement I like to teach all the athletes that we work with, learning how to land really soft. And if you do this right, you should feel your calves working and not your Achilles. And another pro tip as well is that if you have a lot of knee pain in the front, guess what? It might be your calves that's not working. So it's really good to do these exercises. So I would usually go in duration of 10 seconds to start out, and then slowly work my way up to like 45 seconds to a minute, right? And then as you get better, you can stay in place. You can slowly turn, different planes. We just go like so for a little bit. My calves are burning right now. There you go. So that is the first beginner stage variation on strengthening your Achilles when it comes to plyometric. So now I'm gonna teach you guys how to do it in a single legs contact. So now that you're really good at that, you can just switch and pick one leg. Again, duration has to be less. So I would aim 10 seconds and build up your tolerance. So still go here, in one place. Same thing, you really have to push into the ground. Don't let that heel touch the ground at all, okay? And you're gonna switch. 10 seconds. So if you guys can do this and you can tolerate it, you can then challenge yourself by start turning. Different angles, because in life and in sports, you can't really predict. Again, the whole point is to feel your calves burning. Now your Achilles, you can switch. You can go forward, back to side. So this contacts look like this, almost like making a triangle. Same thing here. This is something you can do at home. Once a week. All my running athletes, I like them to do this all the time. Awesome. And that's it. That's all I got for you. But if you are having ankle pain as you're doing this and you feel like your ankle is really stiff, I would highly recommend check out our video that we did on the bulletproof ankle. That's gonna address all the soft tissue component, all the joint component. And we also did another video on this one of how to stay athletic. We're gonna go over a different athletic progression when it comes to jumping and landing. If you guys like this, please like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.